Ole Miss fans need a hotel for the game weekend? Many OTAs keep all the commissions, but at Fan Plans, you still get your loyalty points, receive direct confirmation from the hotel, and you support Rebel Grove. Visit fanplans.com/Rebel Grove today.
Welcome into another edition of The Butcher versus the Spin Instructor, presented by LB's Meat Market. I'm Neil McCready. Greg Jones of LB's Meat Market joins from Lexington, Kentucky. As yesterday, I think you sold
I sold my mare.
Sold my mare. That's right. That was a big deal. I saw that. That was impressive.
Yeah, she did really good. She was a rock star yesterday. So it's always a good feeling when everybody comes up and asks you, is that your horse? And so she did really good yesterday.
So Greg's in Lexington, in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Of course, you see Campbell McCready from Zen Studios, surrounded by a couple of fairly familiar faces. Parker Sheeran on Campbell's left. Parker is better known in these circles as Burger Girl from a previous episode of the show. And then on Campbell's right, Megan Zaves from Nashville, Tennessee. Megan, best known probably for her appearance back in 2020 in the MPW Digital pregame show, the last time Ole Miss played at Arkansas. Ole Miss and Arkansas get together in Fayetteville this weekend. The last time that happened, it was all the COVID stuff, and Megan joined pregame and kind of gave us a lay of the land before that contest. And so they're all back together. It's full circle. You guys are seniors now. Can you believe that?
No, can't believe it. Crazy.
Get out in the real world before you know it. Join me and Greg, and you can see what this is, what all the fuss is about, and find out just how overrated growing up is. All right, we're gonna get to the show in a minute. A lot of games to pick, including, of course, Ole Miss at Arkansas. First, I want to tell you that we're brought to you each and every week by LB's Meat Market. LB's 2008 University Avenue in Oxford. It's right across the street from Kroger. You do not need to go to Kroger. Just see the sign, use it as a landmark, and then get across the street and go to LB's. You don't want to go to Kroger. There's nothing there. At LB's, there's all sorts of stuff there. The freshest cuts of beef, chicken, pork, the house-made sausages, the stuffed jalapenos, the stuffed mushrooms, bacon-wrapped asparagus, so many other things, fresh fish every Thursday. Don't forget the frozen counter on the left. Get out of the frozen counter, and you'll save a little money at the checkout. And also tell Greg and the people there at LB's how much you appreciate them being a part of MPW Digital. Let's see, Greg, it'll be a weekend off, but a lot of people getting ready for Thanksgiving, people starting to think about the holidays. How can they get in touch with you in terms of putting together an order or that kind of thing as we get closer and closer to the holidays?
Yeah, always call the store, 662-259-2999. Thanksgiving's not the biggest and best holiday for us, but I will get a couple cases of the free-range Joyce Farms turkeys. So those, if you've never had a real turkey, you definitely need to try one of those Joyce Farms turkeys. But we'll be ready to go next week again. And usually out of town week games are usually pretty busy. So I'll be back in Oxford Wednesday to make all the Swayze sausage and some more ribeye sausage. And we'll be ready to go for the weekend for sure.
You know, I do a show with Ole Miss offensive lineman Mason Brooks, creatively called the Mason Brooks Show on MPW Digital each and every week. And Mason and we've kind of had a little bit of a falling out over the last couple of weeks because I have had the audacity in his mind to say that I think Thanksgiving in terms of the food is an overrated meal. And Mason's an offensive lineman. I don't think he thinks there is such a thing as an overrated meal. He likes to eat, but I said it's an overrated meal, and I will die on the hill. I really will. If Thanksgiving dinner is such a big deal, and anyone can weigh in on this, if it's such a big deal, then why don't we ever have turkey and dressing and candied sweet potatoes on like June the 7th?
Like all the time.
Because that ruins the point of Thanksgiving. It's kind of like our Christmas breakfast. You have the cheese grits, we got the whatever. Thanksgiving, I'm not going to sit down and have turkey and dressing and green bean bundles every other Sunday.
Okay.
It makes it a special occurrence.
Are you prepared to have this argument shot to smithereens right here in front of all these people? Because I'll do it. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Thanksgiving's overrated.
Here's why. What do you have on the 4th of July almost every year? Give me some examples of things that you have.
Hot dog, burgers, fries,
corn on the cob.
Is that the only day of the year you have a burger? Don't
okay.
Yeah, I can't answer that one.
No, but
I'm a deviled egg guy. I like the deviled eggs. I'm a deviled egg guy.
When do you have ham? On Easter or on Christmas?
Well, I mean, you have ham.
Food on Thanksgiving.
I mean, I'm not a big ham person either, but if you have, I mean, like, you could have ham on Thanksgiving and Easter, or you could just put a ham on the smoker in like the middle of March, for that matter.
The thing is we could argue about it, and everybody is, their opinions are valid, and I'm respecting your opinion. But Thanksgiving food will go on. Nothing will stop.
Okay.
Fair.
I mean, whatever.
Hey, I had 4 older sisters, so I try to tend to listen to the women whenever they speak. So yeah, I mean, we're just going to have to agree with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Whatever. It's good. I'm not going to protest it and march down the street, holding the signs or anything. But I just think it's an overrated deal. That's all. I mean, and maybe what this is I'm a little protesting the whole having to work on Thanksgiving night with the Egg Bowl and stuff. I would rather that game be on Saturday, and I think that game being moved to Thanksgiving has soured my Thanksgivingness, if you will. You know what I mean? I mean, the whole day, like, Thanksgiving meal was supposed to be previewed by like mimosas and stuff, and then you're supposed to switch to a couple of beers while you watch the football game, like the NFL game. The Lions play somebody, and you watch that game, and then you have Thanksgiving, and you drink wine with that, and then you pass out for a while. And you can't do that when you got to go cover a football game at 6:30 and write a column and write a game story and go talk to coaches. And
I think the best nap is Thanksgiving Day. Is you can get the best nap of all of the year. You get a big plate at like 11 o'clock, and then you kind of doze off around 1:30, 2 o'clock, and you're like, oh, I think I need another plate of food. So
I want to do Thanksgiving at your house with mimosas at the beginning of the day. I have to start with a 5K. You have to start with a turkey trot. Wow. I want to do mimosas at the McCrady's. That sounds way better.
Turkey trot, mimosas.
You're always welcome.
I'm in on the mimosas for sure.
Yeah, see, I might go do a run and then come have mimosas, and that way they're guilt-free mimosas. All right, let's jump into games. We've got a full slate of contests. Let's see, Greg, you and Campbell both had y'all both had excellent weeks. My desk is just gone to hell. Here we go. Let's see. Last week, Greg, you went 7-3.
Wow.
You improved to 50.
The ice cream finally worked.
Yeah, you improved to 51-57 for the season. Campbell, you had a winning record as well. You went 6-4. Campbell, you're 53-55. So you lead Greg by 2 games here in the pursuit of the prestigious LB's Cup. So season far from over. So much more football to pick. It's time to get to it. We'll start, Greg. You go first since you won the week. It's UMass, the Fighting Minutemen. They go to College Station to play Texas 4-8. I'm sorry, Texas A&M. This game is at 11 o'clock on ESPN Plus. The Minutemen, Greg, are 33.5-point dog in College Station.
I'm going to go with the Minutemen. I don't know if Texas A&M can score 35 points. So we're going to go with the Minutemen.
All right, Megan, at this time, I'd like for you to explain what a 33.5-point line means in this game.
Taller than 33, shorter than 34. I'm just kidding. That means that they're gonna score. I think it cut out. Oh, you missed the explanation. It cut out. No, my bad.
Oh, it did. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Campbell, Greg, what do we teach them in the schools these days? You know, I mean, it's
Well, if it's not on their phone, they probably won't learn it. So, you know.
yeah. All right, Campbell, Greg is going to take UMass and the points. You willing to lay 33.5 with the lowly Aggies, or are you going to go the same way?
What do y'all want? One of y'all want to take this? I'll let Parker. Parker,
You know, I think we're going to go the same way on this one. I just don't think Texas A&M can score that many points. And I just really don't like Texas A&M to begin with, but I don't think they can score that many points.
No, I said when it happened in September when Arkansas lost to Texas A&M, I said that's the end of their season. That was a disastrous loss, and I proved to be pretty prophetic. They never really recovered from that. All right, back to you guys, Campbell. Florida, the Gators coming off a big win over South Carolina. They head to Nashville. They will play the Vanderbilt Commodores, who are on a one-game winning streak after beating Kentucky. A victory for bald guys everywhere. Way to go, Clark Lee. You're the man. Congrats. Love you. Way to go, champ. The Vanderbilt Commodores get a first SEC win in more than 1,000 days, Campbell, and they get 14 points against Florida.
I'm gonna have to take this one and go with Florida here. Megan was just talking about picking Vanderbilt, but I don't do that. And I think last week was a one-time occurrence. It won't happen again. So I'm going with Florida.
All right, Greg, she has no belief in bald guys. She's going to go with the Gators against Florida. She's going to lay.
You know, I told myself that I would never bet on Vanderbilt, and you know, I go against them last week, and sure enough, they win the game. So, I'm going to go Florida. Sorry, just going to go Florida. I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to go with Florida.
Speaking of the Wildcats, there in Lexington, they entertain Georgia. The top-ranked Dogs come to town. This game at 2:30 on CBS, 2:30 Central. On CBS, Greg, Kentucky is getting 22.5 points at home against Kirby Smart and the Bulldogs.
Ooh, there's some bad vibes in Lexington right now when it comes to the football team, and everybody's tuned into the basketball now that you know they're playing Michigan State tonight. So I don't know if there's going to be 10,000 or 5,000 people at that game. So I think Georgia is just too good. So I'm going to go with Georgia.
All right, Campbell. Greg's going to take the Bulldogs lay 22.5 there in Lexington against the kind of reeling Wildcats. What do you think?
I'll let Megan go with this one.
I agree that we're going to go with Georgia. I listened to a great country song the other day that talked about the Bulldogs, and I just think that if anything can do it, that country song can bring us through.
Was that the country song where she calls home and says she's wearing Tennessee orange because she?
That would be the one.
I heard that song. The storyline on that.
Very sweet, if you ask me.
You know, it was kind of good. Just Campbell, just FYI, that song cannot serve as a template for you bringing home a boy who's a Cardinal fan. So just don't try it.
That's an example of me. That would not work.
Just don't do it. It's not going to work. I'm not going to like him. I don't care if he doesn't make you cry and if he holds doors open. No. The answer is no. All right. Got a big game here in Auburn. We'll see, Campbell. Western Kentucky heads to the Plains to play Auburn, who acted really weird on Saturday when they beat Texas A&M and had like this party on the field, and all the people stuck around, and they do all the family thing. We're Auburn family.
Auburn? Did they lost?
No, they won. But you would have thought they won the national championship. They beat Texas A&M by 3. It was really a bizarre game. Western Kentucky, Campbell's getting 5.5 points at Auburn. This is a 3:00 game on the SEC network.
Parker.
Oof. I'm gonna go with Auburn on this one. Oh, do you want me?
I was gonna go with something
with who?
Western Kentucky.
Okay.
Well, she never picks Auburn, but we'll go. I mean, you know, just letting you know. So
You gonna go Auburn?
I've never picked Auburn.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll continue with the trend. We'll go with Western Kentucky. Why not?
I mean,
Hey, who knows what can happen?
I was starting to worry. You saw peer pressure right there. That's what you tell your kids, Greg. You know, don't listen. If your friends tell you to jump off a bridge, don't do it. I mean, if all your friends are jumping off a bridge, yeah, exactly. All right, Greg, she's going to take Western Kentucky in 5.5. What do you think?
I'm going to take Auburn. I really like Cadillac Williams, man. I don't know if he's going to get the job but like, I just kind of like, he's a younger guy and he can relate to the players, and he's kind of got, pretty good, out of them against last week against A&M. So I'm going to go Auburn with the most annoying War Eagle chant of all time.
Okay. All right, Greg, back to the SEC East. Tennessee heads to South Carolina. This is a 6 o'clock game on ESPN. Tennessee's a 22-point favorite in Columbia.
I'm going to take Tennessee. They're just it seems like they're rolling. So I'm just they're not on Georgia's level. So but they can score some points.
All right, Megan, Parker, y'all are both Tennessee girls. Did either of you consider the Vols?
No, I don't like orange. I couldn't do it. That's honestly why I didn't go to Tennessee. It's because of the color.
Megan?
I've talked about Tennessee before, and I feel like I'd be going back on my previous words if I said I was rooting for them. Good things I'm not very loyal when it comes to that. So I would go for Tennessee now because, again, the country song, a big part of that country song. Big part of the country song. And also my neighbors, I want to be invited back to their house. So I got in trouble after my last thing about Tennessee. So rooting for Tennessee.
All right, so you guys are going to take Tennessee and lay the points as well?
Yeah, sure.
Despite the color.
Despite the color, yeah, whatever.
We got. We'll save the last 6. We'll save the Ole Miss 6:30 game for last. Let's see, Campbell. New Mexico State heads to Missouri. Speaking of Columbia, the other Columbia, 6:30 ESPNU. New Mexico State. Campbell's a 28-point underdog in Como.
What do y'all have any thoughts?
You got this one.
I typically will lay a lot of points. I don't really care.
Yeah.
So, I'll just take a risk and go with Missouri.
Okay. All right, Greg, she's going to take the Tigers, lay 28 against
I'm going to go New Mexico State, the Aggies. So
Wow.
I don't know. It just seems like a lot of points, but I could be wrong by the first quarter on that one.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get on this show. All right, here we go. Another kind of the end of an era of a game I've always wanted to go to. Bedlam, Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma. This game's in Norman, 6:30 on ABC. This game is not long for this life. When Oklahoma joins the SEC, this game's not going to happen anymore. It's kind of sad because this is a heated, spirited rivalry. Both teams really struggling. Oklahoma State getting 7 points on the road in Norman.
Whose turn is it?
Greg.
I'm going to go Oklahoma State. I'm going to do Oklahoma State. It's a shame. There's a game called Bedlam, and they're not going to have it anymore. So,
agreed. A game called Bedlam should always exist, but it's not going to. All right, Campbell. He's going to take the Cowboys in 7 points. You're going to take Oklahoma and lay them?
Well, my first instinct is to go with obviously the friend angle. Our dear friend Mary Elizabeth, her brother goes there to Oklahoma. So, do y'all have any other?
That was going to be my reasoning too.
But Megan just said OU sucks though. So now we're back to square one.
yeah.
So, who are
grades
we?
up, guns down, right?
Yeah, get your grades up or get your guns up. Wreck 'em. I don't. Again, no. But we do have Texas fans in our family, so OU sucks.
So
So you got to pick one or the other, though. Here,
I'm not in charge of picking this one, am I?
So you guys are going to go with Mary Elizabeth and Oklahoma?
Yeah, let's stick with our friendships here.
Don't tell her I said any of that.
So for the Ole Miss fans that are listening to this, Mary Elizabeth's grandfather is former Ole Miss baseball coach Pat Harrison. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Correct. Yes.
How about that? So Mary Elizabeth Ingskoff, is that how you say her name? Correct? Yeah. And her brother, I can't think of his first name, is a freshman infielder, I think, at Oklahoma. So small world. All right. Here we go. Put it off as long as we can, guys. Let's see. Campbell, I think it's your turn. Ole Miss. The Rebels coming off a disappointing loss to Alabama. They head to Fayetteville. This game 6:30 on the SEC network. Arkansas now 5-5. Lost an opportunity last week against LSU. The Razorbacks trying to get bowl eligible. Ole Miss trying to play their way into an Access Bowl for the second consecutive year. The Rebels a 2.5-point favorite in Fayetteville. Campbell.
Obviously, I think we're going to go with Arkansas here. I was going to say what's kind of cool is Parker and Megan came home with me in our freshman year for the Ole Miss game, and that was fun. And then they came with me to the game sophomore year. And then junior year, unfortunately, we had to serve our Chi Omega chapter at initiation last year, which I had been counting down the days to bring my friends back to Oxford. So unfortunately, that did not happen. But this year, we're coming back, going to win, hopefully.
Megan, you're not going to be at the game because you've got to go home, right?
Yep, I'm gonna be heading to Florida.
Okay. All right. So Campbell, Parker, it's going to be 19 degrees. Tell me the truth. What are the odds that you actually set foot in Reynolds Razorback Stadium as opposed to like PJ's where you get
JJ's?
JJ's, I meant.
No. Well, as of yesterday, my parents were coming to town. So I think they're not anymore because it is going to be 19 degrees. So if they go, then I'll go for a little bit. But honestly, I'm probably not going to the game. It's going to be too cold.
Yeah, and I'd agree that since it is a later afternoon game, we need to be able to make sure that we're going to make it into the bars. And to do so, we probably need to go ahead and go. So this would give us a great opportunity to go ahead and head that way, watch the game, and then stay there.
This is good news for you guys that I'm out of town. One more spot in the bar. One more spot available for you.
Greg, they're going to take the Hogs and the points. I assume you'll take the Rebels and lay them.
Oh yeah, I will for sure. It wouldn't be a competition unless if I didn't take Ole Miss and she had Arkansas. So
I know y'all are taking Arkansas. Do you honestly believe Arkansas is going to win after the season that you've had?
No.
I don't know. I'm optimistic, but I was also optimistic with LSU, and we saw how that turned out. So
yeah,
this would be the one game that I'd hope Arkansas would,
pull through
for. I know Caroline would say the same because she has some Ole Miss people coming to town. I can't say I have any more close-knit Ole Miss relations as for my high school friends, but
All right. Let's see. We got 3 games left. We'll roll through them. Greg, Battle of Los Angeles, USC plays at the Rose Bowl against UCLA. The Trojans 1.5-point favorite. This game's at 7:00 on Fox.
I'm going to go UCLA. I like their jerseys more than USC. And I'm curious how Campbell's going to roll with this, considering just the Los Angeles angle.
All right, Campbell. He's going to take the Bruins and a 1.5. What about you guys?
Just to get, y'all have any thoughts on this one before I use my angle? Maybe y'all have a new one to bring.
Anyway. We had a good family friend who used to help with UCLA, who was one of the little coaches, one of those little guys coaching on the side.
Okay. So
now he works for OU, or he did work for OU. It's a whole thing.
So would you like to go with UCLA for that reason?
Yeah.
All right. We're going against my
His name's Connor McQueen. He's cool.
Okay, we're going for Connor McQueen.
Right.
He doesn't do it. I don't think he works there anymore. That's all right. I don't know. He's also
we'll use any angle we can get.
Okay, so you're all taking the Bruins. All right, we go to Baton Rouge, LSU. They win the SEC West by virtue of beating Arkansas and Ole Miss losing to Alabama. LSU will play Georgia in the SEC game next month. Saturday, they will play UAB in Baton Rouge, 8:00, ESPN2. Greg, the Tigers are a 15-point favorite over the Blazers.
I think I'm going to go with UAB. Maybe a little letdown. I don't know. I'm pulling for the letdown. How about that?
UAB played really well last week. Green uniforms, Campbell. I know you're a green person. You got a couple of green tests here to finish the picks. So Greg's going to take UAB in 15 points. What do you think?
The thing, I feel like I go with LSU every time, besides last week for obvious reasons, and it has not let me down. What do y'all think?
We made a lot of new LSU friends this weekend.
We did. So
We'll go with LSU.
How were the LSU fans in Fayetteville? Were they obnoxious or pleasant?
I think they were very pleasant.
I had a fabulous time.
When I was standing in line at JJ's, they were coming up and like some older families, and they were talking to us, but very cordial and nice.
Yeah, they were kind.
Kind of making jokes out of the situation, you know.
A resilient bunch.
That's a good word.
Resilient.
It was
But
cold there on Saturday, right? I mean, you had some snow and stuff. It was a little, yeah. All right, last game, Pac-12, another Pac-12 game, 9:30 on ESPN. It's Utah, the Utes, a 3-point underdog at Oregon. The Ducks coming off a very disappointing loss to Washington. I don't know whose turn it is. Y'all can decide. Utah at Oregon. The Utes favored by 3.
I mean, it's me or is it them?
Either way, you go ahead, Greg.
You got it.
Okay, I'm going to go Utes because I know Caroline's going to probably go with the green angle, even though she just went against her green angle on the last game. So I'm going to go against the green angle here.
All right, Campbell. Greg's going to take Utah and 3 points. What do you think?
Grandma and Grandpa Ryan both went to University of Utah. And I'll be seeing them this weekend.
So we got to, I mean,
I'm a big skier, you know.
We're having to switch my angle here.
I'm sorry. I feel like I've ruined this whole consistent thing we had going.
You know, maybe it'll work for us. So, you know.
All right, so you're both going to take Utah and 3 points. This is a surprising day of picks. Greg goes with what was the big surprise with Greg? Greg went with Auburn. Just a lot. There's a lot here. There's another couple of games that have no lines, by the way, in case anybody's wondering. Austin Peay is at Alabama. East Tennessee State is at Mississippi State. There are no lines on those games, and if you watch those games, you need to get a life and do something with yourself. You just need to do something. It's not good. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Y'all's last home game as seniors. Is this sad?
Yeah. It kind of stinks that it's going to be as cold as it is, but you know, we'll make the best of it.
Wait, y'all are on the 6-year plan?
No, sadly,
Unfortunately, yeah.
My scholarship, aka my dad, Robert Sharon, that runs out in 4 years. So I have to be done in May. Sadly.
That's probably why y'all went to Arkansas instead of Ole Miss, you know, because that 6-year plan pops up in Oxford for some strange reason.
Yeah. So the day that I get cut off from my father is getting closer and closer.
He's got a list. He's just marking off days each day.
He's counting down August 1st. So please send prayers my way.
All right, Megan, I hate that I won't see you this weekend. I was looking forward to it, but
I know, I'm bummed.
Hope you have a safe trip to Florida. And
It'll be good.
Campbell, Parker, I will see you guys on Friday, I hope, and should be a fun weekend. Greg, I look forward to seeing you as well. The people that come into LB's, if they're not heading up to Fayetteville, they want to get some stuff to throw on the grill. It's going to be a cold weekend in Oxford. How do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, always call the store, 662-259-2999. We always have Facebook and Instagram, and I try to get back to you as quick as possible on those social media outlets, but always call the store. My mom I think we ended up doing like 60 pounds of jalapenos last weekend. Wow. So yeah, sorry for the jalapeno shortage in Oxford. You know, when you need jalapenos, come to LB's. They should have cream cheese and wrapped in bacon. So it should be a good weekend, and it's always a good time. And into the football season coming up, but we're coming into the home stretch.
All right. Next week we'll preview kind of rivalry weekend. It'll be I see Arkansas goes to Missouri, and then of course the Egg Bowl on Thursday with Mississippi State coming to Ole Miss, wrapping up the 2022 regular season. Hard to believe we're already to that place, but we are. Thanks again to LB's Meat Market, to Greg Jones, to Megan Zaves, to Parker Sheeran, to Campbell McCready. We'll be back next week with another edition of The Butcher versus the Spin Instructor presented by LB's Meat Market. Until then, drive carefully, stay safe, and take care.